Hi guys, so sorry I'm not here today. So this was going to help with the students who are here at 8A because solving quadratic formula is a little bit of a difficult concept, so I want to explain it as clear and without as with little confusion as possible. Okay, so you should start to do now. You've got a 15-minute timer, so you're going to work on it do now. Once you submit it, you'll get the answers. We'll go through them over again. So number one is going to be negative C, negative D, because you're going to flip the sign. So first of all, stop the video and then challenge yourself and then come back and watch the video. Apologize. Now, we're doing over this one. This one, what we had to do is this is a little bit of a multi-step question. So what we have to do is, because this is a doozy, is we're going to have to combine these two first. Okay? So I'm going to set up my box just like this. This is just like what we did on the test. You're going to put one of your binomials at the top, x and 4, and one on the side, x and 1. And then you're going to combine them. So this will be x squared. This will be 4x. This will be x. And then this will be 4. Then here you're going to come in and you're going to combine these two terms. So then we're going to be left with x squared plus 5x plus 4. Now don't forget, we can't forget about this 2. We're going to put this around parentheses, and then we're going to distribute this 2 here to each term. Okay? So this will be 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. And then this would equal 20. Once you get here, then you're going to have to subtract 20 from both sides because we want to get this trinomial to equal 0. Then I draw the line here, and then this will be 2x squared plus 10x, and then 8 minus 20 is going to be negative 12. Now once you get here, we're going to do that easy trick that we did last class. We're going to get that Desmos calculator. I'm going to get Desmos testing. And I'm going to type it right into this calculator. Let me get it bigger. I'm struggling, guys. I apologize. And I'm going to type it here. So we have 2x. We're going to square it. And then we're going to have plus 10x minus 12. And then we can find our solutions. One is negative 6 and one is 1. And that's what we have here. So the hardest part is rearranging this, but once you rearrange it and get into a trinomial and type it into Desmos. Desmos is your friend, and we're going to depend on it today to check our work. Okay. This one is a trick question. It's pretty tricky, so I'm going to teach you how to do it. So Georgia has a square pool in her backyard. She plans to make the pool 12 times 12 times larger. Area of the pool is 220. So we know the area of the pool is 220. This is going to be my length, and this is going to be my width. And we know that length times width equals area. What we're going to do is we're going to plug in these values. So I know that length is going to be x. Width, I'm going to put this in parentheses, x plus 2, because that still means multiply. And then we're going to have it equal the area, which is 220. Now, once we're going to get here, we're going to distribute. going to be x squared plus 12x equals 220. Now I'm going to make this into a trinomial. So this is going to be x squared. So we're going to subtract 220 from both sides. I always skip that step because to me it's second nature. But it might not be to you, so I apologize. I'm going to subtract 220 from both sides. Ooh, 220 here. Ooh, 220 here. Poor thing. And this is going to be x squared plus 12x minus 220 equals 0. So we're going to plug this into decimals and we're going to see what our solutions are going to be. Okay, so I'm going to type this here, make this bigger so I can see. And I struggle with this point, so be patient. There we go. He just doesn't want to listen to me. I swear. I don't know what I did to this thing. All right. And I'm going to do x. We're going to get the squared button plus 12x minus 220. Okay. And then I'm going to make it bigger so I can see. It should be nice and big on your screen, but to me it's not. I'm going to make it smaller. And I have my two solutions, which is negative 22 and 10. The one thing you have to ask yourself, can I have a negative dimension? The answer is no, you can't. So our x is going to equal 10 because it's positive. So we know that if we plug 10 here, plug 10 in here, and plug 10 in here, 10 times this equals 22 equals 220. So the length of the pool is going to be 10. And the area of the original pool is going to be 10 times 10 is 100. So those are going to be our answers. So some of the questions get a little complex. So you kind of have to think a little bit outside the box, but it's nothing you can't handle. All right, this one is what we just had to solve for x. So what I'm going to do to give her the square root, I'm going to get rid of the square number. We'll put these both under the square root. So now we have x plus 4, and the square root of 64 is 8. Then I subtract 4 from both sides, and x equals 4. Okay. Now, be sure to check your grades. Factoring Quizlet is extra credit. I assigned it. And then the semester exam self-assessment is also due on the 3rd. Okay, so to get all the tutoring sessions in. All right, and I have open more tutoring sections. So next week, we don't have school Monday, but I will have tutoring Tuesdays and Thursdays if you need it. All right. Here is our outlook. So today you're doing quadratic formula. There's no school Monday. Then we'll have mixed practice / review. And then we have a test on Friday. So that's next week. And then after that, we're going to be doing quadratic key features and then quadratic applications. So how do you use a graph to solve for solutions? To find the solutions in a graph, you set the equation to equal to 0, and then you graph it. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video so you can write this in your journal. I'm just going to go right forward because I don't want to make this a super long video. Okay, so this is a quadratic formula. It is, I'm going to write it down. If you guys go to the back of the classroom and get the full formula sheet, you will see the second equation, second to the bottom. It is going to be negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4 and c divided by 2a. I think this is the longest formula you've been exposed to. But one thing for sure, it always works. It's just a process to do. So as you see, we have our B term, our A term, and our C term here. And then what we have to do is we have to simplify it. So you see B is negative. So that means that negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. So we put that there. And then we have negative 4 times 2, which is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 3, which is positive 24. We add these two together, we get 49, so that we know that one of these can be plus and one of these can be minus here. And then 2 and A was 2 equals 4. Now, I will say this is going to be a process, so if you need to watch this video as many times as you need, that's fine. If you want to watch another video on quadratic formula, that's fine too. As much as you can. All right, so go ahead and do your table of contents. Like I said, I'm not going to keep this up for long because you can literally pause the video right down. Okay, so we're solving quadratics with the quadratic formula. So why is it important to find the discriminant? The discriminant, we'll talk about that in a second. Before solving the quadratic equation, is a part under the radical sign. So that's the discriminant. And we'll talk about why it's important throughout the lesson. Okay, pause the video. I'll even take my quadratic form out of the way so you can write it. And let's move forward. All right, so here, the discriminant is a square root symbol. Okay, there's two real solutions if it's positive. There's one real solution if it's 0, and there's no real solutions if the discriminant is negative. Okay, now that is this part of the quadratic formula, and I always like to solve this part first. I like to do it by hand. I'll show you how to enter in the calculator, but you have to make sure you put everything in parentheses to make sure it's right. Okay. Quadratic formula is used to find the solutions, the zeros, the roots, and the x-intercepts. Okay. If you need more time, make sure you write this down. All right. So example 1. What we can do is we can find, I'm just going to click through this. Okay. We have our terms A, B, C. A is 1, B is 8, and C is -3. This is no different from what we've done before. And we literally place them in the discriminant. Okay. Our B is 8. And we're going to do 8 squared because that's our B. We put the -4 because it's the given. We have A, which is 1, and then we have -3, which is C. And then we see that our discriminant is going to be 76. That means that we have 2 real solutions here. Then we got to do this. We got to do a little maneuvering. We got to subtract 6x from both sides. So now we have 2x squared minus 6x plus 7 equals 0. Okay. After that, we're going to have our A, B, C. Our A term is 2. Our B term is -6. And our C term is 7. We're going to put it under the quadratic formula. Remember, this is the part that gets people. When you put this in your calculator, I'm going to pull my calculator up right now so that you can see. You want to make sure that your B, your -6 is in parentheses. Because if you just do -6 squared, it's going to make it -36, which is wrong. It's -6 times -6, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So it should be -6 like this, and then you put this square on the outside. And then it will give you the proper answer. Okay? Just letting you know. So just like we have it here, you're going to type it exactly how you see it in your calculator. And then you'll see that your discriminant is -20. If you have a negative discriminant, there is no real solutions. Here, we're going to add 125 to both sides, and then we have our trinomial. We have our A, B, and C. Our A is 5, our B is 50, and our C is 125. We're going to plug it into the formula, and then we see that our discriminant is 0, so we have one real solution. Okay, so now we're going to do this one, and I'm going to do this one as best as I can without confusing you. We're going to do the whole thing. So we're going to do 3x squared plus x, and then we add 8 to both sides and we get positive 8. So now I'm going to make a list of my A, B, and C. My A equals -3. My B is 1. And my C equals 8. Okay, and I'm going to put this in my quadratic formula, which is -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Our b is 1, so I'm going to put -1 plus minus our b squared here, which is 1. So we're going to put 1 squared minus 4. And for good practice, just put this in parentheses always. -4, parentheses, parentheses, just for good practice. So if you just want to enter this in the calculator so you don't get confused, it won't mess it up for you. -3 and 8 over 2 -3. Okay? So now let's work on the discriminant, which is this part. I'm going to type that. I'm going to erase that. We're going to type this part into our calculator. So I'm going to grab our calculator so I can get my discriminant. I'm going to type it exactly how I see it, which is going to be parentheses 1, close the parentheses squared, minus 4, parentheses, -3, close the parentheses, open the parentheses, 8, enter. And we get square root of 97. So that's what we're going to leave with. So we're going to have -1 plus minus square root of 97 at the top. Then we have to say, what's 2 times -3? -6. We're going to put that at the bottom. Now we have to get our 2 zeros. And this is when numbers get super ugly. And I apologize in advance. We have -1 plus square root of 97 over -6. And these are one of our solutions. And then we have -1 minus square root of 97 over -6. Okay? And those are our solutions. Yes. All right. So you get this ugly number here. That is what you get if you type the whole thing in the calculator, which are not going to be the answer choices they give you. You have to actually do it just like this, where you get -1 plus square root of 97 over -6, and then -1 minus square root of 97 over -6. So that's why we do it that way. I apologize for all the overlapping. Okay, so if you type in your calculator like this, it's going to give you this crazy number, which is not something they're going to give you as an answer choice. So when you get something like this, that's when you're going to say, hey, oh my God, I got to do the quadratic formula. Now, what I want to say is when you take a test, I want you to test all these trinomials first on decimals before you attempt the quadratic formula. Only when you see answer choices like this is when you say, oh, okay, now I got to go look at my formula chart, look on the second to last formula, and use that to solve these equations, okay? It's not hard. It's just really easy to make a mistake, all right? You're going to try these. Give yourself 10 minutes to try these out, okay? And I want you to make sure that you start using my strategies. Put these in Desmos first before using the quadratic formula. Okay? All right, hopefully the 10 minutes is up and we're going to go over these answers. Okay, u try 3 is going to be -1 and 6, and that's something you could have got by plugging in Desmos. And this is another one you could have got the solution by plugging into Desmos. Okay, this one, you could have also got this in the Desmos. You would start at not with the negative, so I'll get my Desmos calculator out so you can see. Oops, so many tabs. Okay, we're gonna type this here. I'm gonna do -16 here, and it's into 75. And then we had to make sure that we didn't have this equal to 50. So I will subtract 50 from both sides. So let me go over here, subtract 50 from both sides. And this would have been -48. Surprise. And then we would have looked, see where our zeros are. We have this one and this one. So we would know that our answer would be about 3.92, our maximum zero. Okay, that's when our ball hit the ground. It hit the ground in 3.923 seconds. Okay, that's how you get your answer for that. I'm going to minimize this. So if a football player kicks the football 2 feet above the ground with an upward velocity of 75 feet per second, the function is below. Give the height in feet of the football after t seconds. After how many seconds is a football 50 feet above the ground? Determine when the football is 50 feet above the ground and find the t values in which h50 solve the equation. So that's when we say when it's 50 feet above the ground, it is 3.92 seconds in the air. Okay. And this is one where you're going to be like, okay, I got to use the quadratic formula. Okay, now there is a song to the quadratic formula here. And I will have this posted in Google Classroom so you can watch it. Let's listen to the song. I gotta pause and because it. Where's me? I'll have that posted in Google Classroom for you guys to watch. Now, let's work on this one together. So what we have to do is we have to get this all equal to 0 first. So I'm going to do x squared minus 5x. Then we add 2 to both sides, so this will be plus 2 equals 0. Then I'm going to list all my terms. A, which equals 1. B, which equals -5. And then C equals 2. So we're going to do -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4AC. Now it's cute. The song is cute, but like you really don't have to memorize it. That's an A, guys. I'm really sorry. You don't have to memorize it because you have it on your formula chart. Okay. Over 2A. Not lovely. I swear. Anyway. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to start with writing the whole thing out. We have 5 plus minus square root. And then we have negative 5. So we're going to put parentheses. Negative 5, close the parentheses, and then square it. So if you want to put it in your calculator, it has to be in this format. Minus 4. And then we have 1 and 2. And you just plug it in. Now, this is going to be 25 minus 8 because I'm a nerd and I know this. Because negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 25 minus 8 equals square root of 17. I went too fast, guys. Let me stop. Gotta put 2A down. But since I did the derivative, I'm gonna kind of skip that step. 2 and A is 1, so I know what it is. So now that I know that what's in my derivative is going to be 25 minus 8, that's going to make my derivative 17. Okay. I keep skipping steps. So this is going to be 5 plus over 2. And this is going to be 5 minus 25 minus 8, which is 17. Okay. This is also, we simplify this, and now this will also become 17. I'm just trying to make this as clean as possible. And that is our answer. So then we're going to go and circle our answer. Okay. So you plug it in, you get this lovely thing. So if you hate my handwriting, it's fine. Plus 5, plus 17 over here. Then we do the same thing, and we do minus 17, which is going to be our 2 answer choices. Okay, now you're going to try these. Oh, you got the answer for one of them. So stop, give yourself, challenge yourself. See if you can practice these on your own. Those are 6 and 7. And then after that, you're going to do the quadratic equation and factoring assignment if you're done. Okay. There's also an exit ticket that I want you guys to do in the back. Don't really worry about worrying about accuracy and making sure you get 100. If you get 100, that's great. But if you don't do well, it's okay. I want you just to really practice the skill. And like I said, the most important thing is to put these trinomials in Desmos first. If you don't get a pretty number, then go back and put in the quadratic formula. A lot of these things you can get the answer by plugging it into Desmos first. There's only like a few questions on the start that has the quadratic formula, but we want you to be able to have an opportunity to get those correct if it comes across it. It's something you can definitely do. If you're still confused, you can definitely go on YouTube and watch other quadratic videos of how to do it. But it's pretty simple. You really just got to put the numbers into the formula and solve the formula. All right. Good luck, guys. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great day. Bye.